What is going on? Welcome to the James Walker Show and my review of Coming to America, the sequel to the 1988 classic Coming to America. They see this one as the sequel, so instead of the word 2, they put the number 2. So it looks like it says like Coming number 2 America, but it's really Coming to America, but it's whatever, you get it. The film is directed by Craig Brewer and once again stars Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. When Prince Akeem of Zamunda finds out that he is an illegitimate son in Queens, he goes to America to bring him back to Zamunda so that he may be groomed for the throne. The original Coming to America is such a classic film. It's one of the best films to come out of the 1980s. It's probably one of Eddie Murphy's greatest roles, and it's probably one of the greatest comedies of all time. A sequel to Coming to America has been in the works for quite some time. And 33 years later, expectations weren't high. And I'm afraid to say that I was one of the naysayers about this, having loved the original. And now that it's here, it's not great. I mean, there's fun to be had, but really the biggest problem with this film is that it treads familiar ground. The original Coming to America was a classic fish out of water story. You take a prince who has been groomed his whole life, put him in Queens, New York, and see him experience real life for the first time. What this film does is it kind of reverses it, where you take a kid who has grown up in Queens, New York, and take him to royalty, and how he perceives all these new things, and perceives becoming a prince and one day becoming a king. Am I the only one who got the Princess Diaries vibes from this film? So the idea is nothing new. So it's not really a fresh take on the story. I was surprised at how many people they got to return for this film. You got Sherry Headley returning, you got John Amos returning, James Earl Jones comes back, even Louis Anderson shows up, which was shocking. The new additions to the cast are Jermaine Fowler, who plays Eddie Murphy's son, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, and Wesley Snipes. As far as the performances go, they were pretty good. It was nice seeing Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall back together on screen again. Jermaine Fowler was great as Prince Akeem's son. I thought he did a really, really good job. Leslie Jones was fantastic, as was Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan's character has a kind of rivalry with Arsenio Hall's character, and I would have liked to have seen more of that. The few back and forths that they have are really, really funny. I would have liked to have seen that rivalry develop just a little bit more. My favorite addition to the film, though, was Wesley Snipes. When I saw him in Dolomite Is My Name, I thought that was probably his best performance in a long, long time. This is pretty close to it. Every time he was on screen, I just loved it, and I wanted more of that character. I think one of the biggest problems with this film, though, is, like I said, it treads familiar ground. We've been there before. We've been in these situations where the main character is experiencing something new. So it's not like anything we haven't seen before. My other issue with the film is that this was PG-13. And I'm not saying you can't have great PG-13 comedies, but what Eddie Murphy excels at is the hard R comedy. Movies like Coming to America and Beverly Hills Cop are fantastic. When you take them out of that hard R comedy, you get films like My Name is Dave and 1,000 Words, I think is what it was called. So I really think that kind of hindered this film a little bit. And one of the things I was looking forward to was seeing all the old characters that Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall played in the original come back. Albeit you do kind of think, like, wait a minute, they were playing old men in the first one, and this film is 33 years later. I mean, how are those characters still alive? But, you know, we're past asking those questions at this point. But the Barbers, I thought was absolutely hilarious. I love seeing them again. And I can never remember his name, but the singer that Eddie Murphy played in the original comes back in this, and that was like the highlight for me. Overall, I think this film was okay. Do I think in 30 years it's going to be considered a classic like Coming to America is? Probably not. But I think it's still enjoyable, and I think there's things that some people will like about this. But I'm going to give Coming to America 3 crowns. You guys, thank you so much for watching. For more reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.